What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another indie spotlight, and this time I've picked 3 campaigns that are going to take us straight into the world of crime and punishment. But before I ramble too long, go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. The Salve number 4, The Dreamcatcher. Written by Javan, the art is by Rafael Flores, and the cover is done by Carlos Villas. This is an epic 40-page finale of the 4-part origin story of the Salve. After his tribe's demise at the hand of the General and his rogue U.S. army of soldiers, Cole was adopted and raised by a clan of grizzly bears. Tragically, Cole lost his new family and his life at the claws of a possessed demon bear known as the Grizz. In a twist of fate, he was saved from eternal rest when the spirit apparition of his tribe's fallen chief appeared and turned his energy into a seed and planted it in the blood-soaked soil where his fallen tribe was massacred. Eventually, the tree opened up, releasing the salve that had been growing inside to protect his people and claim his vengeance. So this kind of reminds me of something you would see in the 90s. It's got a little bit of the Crow to it. There's almost some Jungle Book in there. He was raised by bears. So I think this is an interesting concept. We have a character that has passed away, but he comes back into our world as kind of a superhero, much like the Crow or another one of my favorite comics, Crossbones. So that sounds really interesting to me. I did miss the first 3 books of this, and so coming into the finale here, it does sound like they have more story to tell, but this is going to be the end of his origin story. And so I want to get in now. They do have, for $10, there's a digital catch-up, and you'll get issues 1, 2, 3, and 4 of in digital format is a PDF. For $20, they have this incredible looking Dr. Seuss homage. It is only the fourth book, but you do also get a PDF digital version of it, so you will be able to read that. Unfortunately, if you haven't picked up the first 3, you will be missing that with that $20. But I suspect for $25 there is a package that would get you caught up and give you that great homage cover. So I definitely suggest you go check this Kickstarter out. Look through all the reward tiers and find something that's good for you, because I really love a good spiritual revenge story. This is very tied into Native American culture, and so this sounds like something really interesting, really refreshing, and really different. So I'm excited to check this one out. I suggest you go over to Kickstarter and go ahead and back it. That way you can get your copy as soon as they're ready. Sticking with the 90s theme here, we also have Ultramax. Ultramax is written by Doug Wood, the art is by Michael Pickard, and the colors are done by Reno Lino. This is a 98-page original graphic novel. It falls into the category of super-villain prison crime. And this story really caught my attention because it has like this superhero element to it, but at the same time, like, it's really grounded in this like gritty kind of underworld that we all enjoy so much. Because what happens here is you have this almost like a nobody, you know, he's just a henchman and he takes out the world's most famous and well-liked superhero. He kills him. And so of course the courts are going to put him in prison, so they send him to a super-villain Supermax prison. What sucks for him is he doesn't actually have any powers. So now you have a regular guy locked away in a Supermax prison specifically designed for people with powers that could easily escape, so he's already at a disadvantage. On top of that, because this superhero was so well liked by the public, they were definitely going to give him the death penalty if he didn't snitch. So now he's in a Supermax prison full of supervillains, and he's a snitch. If that doesn't create some interesting prison drama, I don't know what does. For $10, you can get in at the criminal level. This is a digital PDF version of the full graphic novel, all 98 pages. What is interesting here is that for $15, you can get each issue 1 through 4 delivered to your inbox as a digital PDF as each section is completed. Me personally, I'm probably going to throw the $10 at it and just wait it out and get the whole story at once, but $15 to get each issue as it comes out individually makes for a really interesting delivery method, and it kind of reminds me almost of what TKO does. I think it's a really interesting way to handle it. I don't think you could go wrong with either of these, but I love the way that this looks and sounds like something you would see or hear in the 90s. It almost reminds me of whenever they put Schwarzenegger and Stallone in a prison together just like 10 years ago. So it should be an interesting story. Like I said, we got a prison drama with super villains and just a regular guy that's probably about to be in the most trouble anybody could ever be in. I'm excited to check it out. I hope you guys jump on. That's called Ultramax, and you can find it on Kickstarter. This is a campaign that I've actually been excited about for some time, and I'm really excited to finally get to talk about it, because this comes from writer Jordan Thomas, who wrote one of my favorite series, Frank at Home on the Farm. I've been pretty obsessed with Jordan Thomas's writing since I first read Frank at Home, and everything that I've seen from him has always delivered. His co-creator on that also is working on a lot of projects right now, so these were both talented creators. I'm excited to see what Jordan Thomas does when he teams up with Chris Matthews and LetterSquids for the lettering on this, and creates something new, but something really interesting. This is a 32-page one-shot. It's a neo-noir British crime drama, and it's called Mugshots, The Last Time. The brilliance of this is that although it's called The Last Time, it sounds like we're not missing anything here. This is a first-time story, a brand new one-shot, and this is going to give us everything we need to get into this world, but it sounds like we're at a kind of end of the business sort of story, which means there's probably a lot of stories to be told based on the success of this one that lead up to where we're at now. So I'm really interested to see how this does, because I really like Jordan Thomas, and I think if he delivers on this the way he did with Frank at Home on the Farm, then we have a great series ready to go here. The story on this one is basically Danny has a gambling problem and owes a London crime boss, Charles Hart. Charles needs someone from Danny's past, so he kidnaps her girlfriend to use as leverage to get to this person, and Danny has to decide between sacrificing a past or a current lover. This book looks like, and based on the descriptions, it's kind of a love letter to Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' Criminal, and it looks really interesting. They use a lot of the monotone colors and things like that. The artwork looks beautiful. I'm really excited for this. Like I said, I'm following a creator here that I already like. We have a new artist, at least within my eyes, so I'm excited to see what that new team up creates. This sounds like the kind of series that has a lot of potential, and this is just a great jumping off point for it. For only $6, you can get in at the digital PDF version, and for $11 you can get the digital PDF plus the actual physical copy when that releases. So either way, this is a great deal. I mean, $6 or $11, pick your poison. I think you're going to be in for the long haul on this series if it takes off the way I expect it to, and so that's a great price to get in and get started. So that's pretty much it. I had a great time going over Kickstarters this week. I really enjoy and am excited for all the different campaigns that I've dug through. I've been seeing more and more stuff pop up on Twitter and Instagram. There's so many projects out there. Please go look on Kickstarter, find something and back it, because these are like independent individuals with so much talent just waiting to be seen. The best way for them to get seen and be discovered, I guess, is for their work to propagate enough that it just accidentally floats across somebody's desk, and the best way for that to happen is for a Kickstarter to just, take off for them. Proof that people want their product is proof that they can sell a book, and that means that, whenever the big two are looking at them, or your indie darlings, or wherever they want to go, those eyeballs are going to be attracted by the amount of books and the amount of projects they can get out the door and successfully into your hands. So please go to Kickstarter and check out some of these up-and-comers, because we need fresh talent in the industry all the time. The other thing that I thought was really weird, or really interesting here, is that there's a lot of crime stuff going on, but not just crime stuff, genre stuff. It seems like a lot of the projects I'm seeing right now, a lot of them tend to focus in on basically somebody's take on whatever genre. Like we saw, Ultramax here is kind of a prison crime drama with some 90s flair, it looks like. Then Mugshots here, this is a criminal neo-noir like crime drama. So that definitely seems to be the hot ticket right now. It probably has a lot to do with where the industry is and how successful Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips have become with their graphic novel style approach. Like I said before, I see that becoming kind of the standard moving forward for the industry, is trying to create bigger, more collected volumes up front. And so I think that success has really drawn a lot of attention to what they're doing. And while I don't think everybody wants to copy Criminal, I do think that people look at their books and see how each story is very like individual and very genre specific. And so that's kind of what I see going on right now. I'm sure that's not the only factor here, but I just think it's really cool and really neat to see, some very like genre heavy writers or creators putting out a lot of stuff and getting a lot of notice, and then at the same time you see that reflected in the independent market where a lot of people are leaning into genre specific content. So that's kind of what I want to know this week is, what are your favorite genres? What kind of books are you looking for whenever you look? Are there specific genres that you look for, or is there something else you look for in a book and then you kind of see a trend of like what it is you like in those? I'm really interested to find out. Let me know in the comments below, and until next week, keep flipping pages.